Hi everyone, welcome back to another beginner-friendly Procreate tutorial. Today we're going to be drawing this repeating pattern. It's perfectly suitable for beginners, so as soon as you're ready, grab your iPad and we will get started. To start any pattern, we start off with a square canvas. Procreate has a default option for square, so just tap on the plus in the top right-hand corner and then select the square option to automatically open your new canvas. The next thing we need to do is set up our drawing guide. So to do this, tap on the settings, make sure canvas is selected, and then toggle on drawing guide. Then click on edit drawing guide and click on symmetry. Once you've clicked on symmetry, click on options and then make sure you have radial selected, rotational symmetry and assisted drawing both turned on. And then when you're done, just tap on the blue tick in the top right hand corner. It doesn't really matter what brush you use for this, but to make things easier, I like to use a large monoline brush. So swipe out, go back to the classic library if you've updated your Procreate, and then click on the old brush library and the calligraphy section. Find your monoline brush and swipe left to duplicate it. Once you've done that, click on your new brush and then click on properties and just bring the max size to around halfway. Once you're done, click on the blue tick and then we have our brush. I like to use the brush cursor so I can see what I'm doing before I do it. So if you want to do the same, just tap on the settings, preferences, and you can toggle on the brush cursor there. Next thing we're going to do is just start filling up the canvas with color from the middle out. So the first color I'm going to use is this teal color, and I'm just going to draw into the center of the canvas and it'll make it even in every section. Next, I'm just going to use this little bit of pink. And if you find you've made a mistake like me, just tap with 2 fingers to undo. I just wanted to make the brush size a little bit smaller so that the green was bigger. And then I'm going on to my next color, which is red. And bear in mind, the way I'm doing this, you're only going to see the very smallest bit of the pink and the red. The main bit will be what's in the center and on the outside. So I'm just going to fill in the rest of it with yellow and we'll get on with the effect. So now that we have the color down, what we're going to do is blur it just slightly. So go into your adjustments and select Gaussian blur and slide from left to right until it's just a little bit blurred like mine is here. And tap on adjustments again and go into noise. And we're just going to make the scale, octaves and turbulence all around the halfway mark and then slide from left to right until the noise is about 30%, which you can see up here on the top. Once you've done that, back into adjustments again and we're going to click on liquefy. This time we want to select the pinch function. We're going to bring the size all the way up to max so it covers the entire canvas, and you can see that here with the outline of the brush cursor. Going to make sure that the pressure is max, the distortion is 0 and the momentum is somewhere around halfway. And then we're just going to tap and hold on the center of the canvas like so, just for a few seconds until your canvas looks like this. Now it looks like the center colors have disappeared, but they are still there and we're going to get them back by using expand. So reduce the size down until about halfway, and then you can see with the brush cursor what that looks like. Then just tap and hold in the middle of the canvas and your green will appear once again, or whatever color you used for your center. You can go back in and readjust it by tapping it slightly again, but with the assisted drawing turned on, it just means that you expand it the same in every section so it looks even. And this is the base tile that we're going to use for our repeating pattern. So now we're going to go back up into our canvas and go into edit drawing guide. Click on 2D grid and increase the grid size all the way up to max. And then click on the blue tick once you're done. So as you can see now, it's all on one layer. And when we tap on the layers, we can see that it's on layer 1. So what we need to do is tap on the cursor, make sure snapping and magnetics are turned on. We're going to minimize it so it fits into one of the 4 squares on the canvas and snaps into place. Tap on your layers, swipe left and duplicate, and then tap on the cursor and slide it into the box beside. Now, as you can see, it doesn't quite line up, so tap on flip horizontal and they'll line up perfectly. We're going to keep repeating this, so tap on the layers, merge them together by pinching the 2 layers together, swipe left, duplicate, and then we're going to use the cursor again to drag these to the bottom half of the canvas, but this time we're going to flip it vertically so it lines up correctly, like so. So tap on the cursor to deselect and we're going to merge these layers together again, and this is what forms the next base of our pattern. And we're just going to repeat these steps by selecting the cursor, minimizing and then duplicating and sliding across Although in this step, you don't need to flip it horizontally because it should line up perfectly this time. So swipe together, duplicate, and then tap on the cursor and slide it down. And it just depends on what kind of scale you want, whether or not you want to keep going or you want to stop. So this one, we're going to do it one more time, and then I'm going to show you how to panel it on an angle as well. So swipe them together to duplicate, and then we'll bring it down to the bottom half. And now we have another repeating pattern tile. So make sure you always merge them together so it's on one layer. And we're finished with the drawing guide, so you can turn that off too. So if you want to do it on an angle, tap on the cursor, tap rotate by 45 degrees, and then fit to canvas. So now you can see it's angled, but we need to fill in the rest of the canvas. So duplicate the layer, tap on the cursor, and slide until it snaps into place. And we're just going to repeat this again for each of the 4 corners. So we're going to duplicate the main layer, pull it down into one of the corners, and wait for it to snap into position. And again, just repeat this until the whole thing is done. And you can repeat this again in much the same way as you did before by minimizing it and dragging it into one square now that you've got your angled pattern. But that's it. That's how you make it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. It was quite quick, so if you need to slow it down and watch it again, feel free to do it. And if you have any questions, please let me know.